Make Love Not Porn was a complete and total accident. I never set out to do anything I very bizarrely find myself doing now. It came about through my direct personal experience dating younger men and realizing 14, 15 years ago, through dating younger men, that when we don't talk openly and honestly about sex in the real world, porn becomes sex education by default in not a good way. So I found myself encountering a number of sexual behavioral memes in bed. I went, whoa, I know where that behavior is coming from. I thought, gosh, if I'm experiencing this, other people must be as well. I didn't know that because 14, 15 years ago, nobody was talking about this. No one was writing about it. This was me in isolation as a naturally action-oriented person going, I want to do something about this. So 13 years ago, purely as a little side venture, I put up on no money a tiny clunky website at MakeLoveNotPorn.com that in its original iteration was just copy. The construct was porn world versus real world. Here's what happens in the porn world. Here's what happens in the real world. I had the opportunity to launch Make Love Not Porn at TED in 2009. My TED talk went viral, and it drove this extraordinary response to my tiny website that I had never anticipated. Thousands of people wrote to me from every country in the world, young and old, male and female, straight and gay, pouring their hearts out, and I realized I had uncovered a huge global social issue. And so that was the point at which I went, oh my God, I now have a personal responsibility. I have to take Make Love Not Porn forwards in a way that will make it much more far-reaching, helpful, and effective. But I also saw an opportunity to do what I believe in very strongly, which is that the future of business is doing good and making money simultaneously. I saw the opportunity for a big business solution to this huge untapped global need. And I use the word big advisedly because even then, 13 years ago at concept stage, I knew if I wanted to counter the global impact of porn as default sex ed, I would have to come up with something that at least had the potential one day to be just as mass, just as mainstream, and just as all-pervasive in our society as porn currently is. So thinking big right from the get-go. And so that's how I ended up pioneering a whole new category on the internet, social sex. Because Make Love Not Porn is what Facebook would be if it allowed you to socially, sexually self-express, naturally and normally, which it doesn't. If porn is the Hollywood blockbuster movie, Make Love Not Porn is the documentary. We are a unique window onto the funny, messy, wonderful, loving, beautiful sex we all have in the real world. And in that sense, we are sex education through real-world demonstration. We're pioneering what we call the social sex revolution. The revolution part is not the sex, it's the fact we're making it social. And, I would encourage our listeners to, as they contemplate, becoming entrepreneurs themselves, every female founder, started her business because we encountered a personal problem and we designed a highly effective solution to it. You can extrapolate out from every one of us to millions of other women, in my case of Make Love Not Porn, billions of women and men and everyone else, who will pay good money for that solution. And so, I go back to my point about whatever sector you work in, whatever you think is missing from that industry that should be there, that nobody else has ever brought to the table, that's your business opportunity right now.
So how do we lean into this? How do we make this conversation a more important part of our lives, our worlds? Where does this fit and intersect into our collective lives?
So first of all, what everybody listening can do is go to MakeLoveNotPorn.tv, sign up, and take out a subscription to support me. Subscriptions start at $10 a month. It's eminently affordable. And spread the word about Make Love Not Porn. And especially support me. And also, if you know any open-minded investors, send them my way, Cindy at MakeLoveNotPorn.com, because I need help to scale Make Love Not Porn to be the Facebook of social sex globally. That's the scale at which I want to operate. And when we do, the impact will be transformative, because ultimately, Make Love Not Porn's mission is to end rape culture. We have 10 years of proof of concept. We end rape culture by doing something incredibly simple that nevertheless nobody else is doing. We end rape culture by showing you how wonderful great consensual communicative sex is in the real world. Our social sex videos role model good sexual values and good sexual behavior. And we make all of that aspirational versus what you see all around you in porn and popular culture. Yeah. That's the really important part. We are reinventing aspirational culture around sex. And, to go back to your point, Kathy, this is what I love about Magic Mike Live, because I'm sick and tired of, the hoary overused phrase sex sells. Whenever anybody uses that phrase, they're referencing sex through the male lens. We have not begun to see how effectively sex will sell through the female lens. And, as you know,
right.
For years, I've been saying to audiences, if you have not, go home and watch the sequel to the original Magic Mike movie, Magic Mike XXL, because you will find that a revelation, because Magic Mike XXL is a movie about sex through the female lens. By the way, it's that even though the director was a man, but it demonstrates that sex through the female lens is joyous, uplifting, celebratory, life-affirming, profound, moving, intimate, wonderful. And, Magic Mike XXL and Magic Mike Live give everybody an idea of how we can deploy this universal air of human experience and interest through the female lens to be an enormously powerful selling tool in the right kind of way.
Love that. And as you know, I'm steeped in that conversation every day. And the beauty is that the misnomer here is there is such a strong female empowerment message to your point, in the film and in the tour and the narrative around the show that, you give someone the chance to get in there and see it. And you probably saw one of the video clips that I had shared with you, and you see Kristen Bell talking to Ellen DeGeneres on the show about this being the most exhilarating, body positive, body feminine, body everything. I mean, how incredible, how liberating for women to know that it's okay. I mean, look, we have no problem saying I want my hair to look fabulous and I want to look beautiful and I want to wear great clothes. Why is that not the next natural progression of who we are? We're taking so much stock in ourselves. And so it's really interesting the way the dynamic is shifting and the platform that you're creating for this conversation. And, on behalf of womankind, I thank you. But I think it's just really an important thing that we understand, and I use this word entitled in the world of reinvention. I think it's important that we understand that we are entitled to truly be who we are as humans. And all of that is part of our art and makeup. And so I think it's wonderful that you've really opened the door to these conversations. So,
and also just to that point, Kathy, for our listeners' benefit, when we talk about reinventing aspirational culture around sex, a huge part of that is we are all incredibly hot, sexually attractive and desirable, every single one of us. And I say that because at Make Love Not Porn, we celebrate real-world everything. We celebrate real-world bodies, real-world hair, real-world penis size, real-world breast size, real-world vulvas. And the reason that's so crucial is because you can talk body positivity all you like. You can preach self-love till you're blue in the face. At the end of the day, nothing makes us feel great about our own bodies like seeing people who are no one's idea of aspirational body types getting turned on by each other, desiring each other, having an amazing time in bed. In a world where every message around us in popular culture every day tells us you are not hot, attractive, and desirable unless you are this skinny, six-pack abs, look like this. Our members at Make Love Not Porn write to us and say, you made me feel better about my own body. One man wrote and said, my girlfriend and I now feel able to be more open and sensual with each other because you made each of us feel better about our own bodies. On Make Love Not Porn, you see what people find hot and desirable in the real world, and it's you. What makes us attractive is us, the essence of the person, the being, and then our bodies are hot as hell because they're ours. And so, that is something that, Magic Mike Live absolutely celebrates. It makes every woman know that she is hot and attractive and desirable. And, I just wish that, so many more women, understood that ultimately, the way to reinvent yourself is not give a damn what anybody else thinks.
I love that. Cindy, I want to thank you so much for being on the Power of Reinvention show today, for opening up this conversation. I feel like there's a part 2 to this in our future, because as we dig deeper and things evolve in what you're doing, I would love to have you come back and just go deeper with this. I think there's so much in the importance of knowing who we are, what's possible, allowing ourselves, giving ourselves permission. I mean, and it's so interesting. You sort of started the conversation at the top of the show with saying, we need to understand that we don't all have to go work for people. Well, applying that theory to what we're talking about here now is we don't all have to hide behind the veneer of what we're supposed to be versus who we want to be, and knowing we're entitled to it. So I think you and I are big livers of life, and we don't seek permission from anybody to do anything. And I think that's where you and I really connect, because clearly that works for us, and I think it can work for a lot of other people. And it may scare the heebie-jeebies out of a lot of people, but I think, as I say, put on those rose-colored lenses for a moment and think about what life could be like for you if da-da-da-da-da, right? And whatever that is, be it career, spirituality, relationships, your sexual life, knowing who you are, creating what you want in that connection with people, this is your life. You are the center of your universe, each and every one of you. So create what you want. And, feel entitled to do that. And Cindy, I think you are just, such an incredible example and liver of that life. And you've clearly created that.
Thank you so much, Kathy. It's been an absolute joy having this conversation with you.
Thank you. You have a wonderful rest of your day. To our audience, thank you so much for joining us. You will find links to reach Cindy, her website, everything I'm going to put in the show notes so people have access to connect with you. And all the other content will be on the reinventionexchange.com, the book, the blog, the virtual chats, anything you want access to. Please join us and have a wonderful rest of the day, the week, the month, the year, and happy reinventing, everybody. Thank you, Cindy.